So I made a video a little while back about why Hoyoverse villains and antagonists are pathetic, and let's just say some of you weren't happy to hear that about your favorite company's games. Alright, well for starters, the entire video was sarcasm. If you watched even 2 seconds of it, you would have picked up on that, but it seems that's an ancient lost language these days. Also, reading comprehension people, or no, listening ability people. Either way, I don't care. Hater or supporter, I love y'all regardless. But since you all insist on claiming that these antagonists aren't bad, it seems we're at an impasse. No, we're not. Because I'm gonna present to you one singular villain, one measly antagonist that puts the entirety of Hoyoverse villains to shame. And it'd be easy for me to go grab an anime villain and say, yeah, this is better than anything these gacha games have ever created. But that's not fair, so I'm gonna use another gacha villain. And I'm gonna break down this villain and present to you reasons on how to actually write an antagonist. Tectone. Did you see that physical response you just had to hearing that name? Notice how your blood started boiling subconsciously? These are your biggest telltale signs immediately that you've got a good villain on your hands. But as I promised, I'd break it down, so that's what I'll do. Let's start with his appearance. You want your villains to look somewhat recognizable. Nobody looks at an NPC and thinks, yep, that's the final boss. A level 1 grunt versus a level 50 mob boss. Massive difference in aura here. You want your villains to have presence and to be imposing, and Tectone's character was designed to do that well. He's tall, he's loud, he's unfiltered, he's bald, he's white. Which I don't see why that's an issue, but I've been on the internet long enough to see that people have a problem with that for whatever reason. But most importantly, Tectone keeps winning. How do you make people hate a character that they already hate even more? Make them win. And when you're arguably the biggest gacha creator, lose lots of weight, and beat the allegations, it's gotta make haters sick to their stomachs. And I personally would never wish ill on another person, but I really find it amusing when Tectone gets hate because these people are just so entertaining, and I need to see more of it. But apparently aside, the next big important thing you need to know when writing a villain are their abilities, and Tectone's got one of the most powerful yet also annoying abilities as an antagonist: arrogance. He's so arrogant and stubborn that he will find the smallest things he disagrees with to blow out of proportions. Even if he's wrong, he's gonna convince himself that he's right, and he won't give up until you do or he changes your mind. And on the topic of being wrong, a good villain is sometimes actually right, just with a very questionable moral code or way of going about things, such as the case of Tectone, who a lot of the time has the right intentions, okay? Sometimes has the right intentions, but just has the most folded way of going about it. And of course, the way you go about things will get you sideways stairs, but a villain with an understandable goal is a good villain. And while I do think Tectone's methods are pretty trash a lot of the time, I do think his head's in the right space. But I don't know the guy, and I've honestly stopped watching the guy, so take anything I just said with a grain of salt. But finally, the most important part of making a villain, the heroes. Now I know what you're thinking, hey, what does the supporting cast have to do with making a character better? Look, you probably actually weren't thinking that because it's kind of obvious. A hero's typically made better by their villains, but a villain can also be made better by their heroes. You see, when you're thinking about this guy, who are his opponents? Enviosity, Atsu. I know there are others, but I can't remember any names right now. But who were his big bads in the content creation scene? I mean, I'll be one of his big bads if he doesn't apologize for thinking Esdeath is better than Artoria, which is just objectively wrong. Yes, I'm still hung up on that. I don't care. I do not forgive and I do not forget. Point is, his heroes were the big names in Genshin that were loved. They were respected by the people. They were the ones people rooted for and adored. They were the greats who made Tectone's bad shine even brighter. Your supporting cast is important, and while I do sometimes have issues with villains magically becoming good guys, I have no issues with it being done properly. And these proclaimed heroes are the same ones who paved the way for his redemption arc and turned him from a villain into an anti-hero. I don't know, there's something about calling Tectone a hero that just doesn't feel right. They turned him from a villain into an anti-redacted? And alright, anti-hero, fine, whatever. I'm not arguing semantics here. Overall, he's got the imposing appearance and way he carries himself. He's got the attitude and arrogance. He's got the feats. He's got a good cast of well-written enemies, and he's even got a decent redemption arc. Granted, it was filler and never even happened in the manga. This is how you write a villain. This is how you write an antagonist. Gacha games, Hoyoverse, take notes. This is what your villains are supposed to look like. And if you haven't already, go watch the video where I spoke about Hoyoverse villains. Watch literally 30 seconds into the video and understand that it's sarcasm, and then go turn to those other people who couldn't understand that, point at them in cliche school bully fashion and laugh. But anyway, who do you think are the most well-written antagonists in Hoyoverse? Is it Tectone? Is it the Fatui Harbingers? Is it Sunday? I don't know why I couldn't think of anybody else, because I think Hoyoverse has a lot to improve on, and they have the model literally right in front of them. But I'm gonna catch y'all boys and girls in the next one, alright? We out this piece.